Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. So today I'm going to be doing my 5th update for my project pan. So despite the fact that it feels like it's been about 2 weeks since I did my last update, I've actually made some pretty decent progress. So I managed to finish a couple of sort of long haul items that I really didn't think I was ever going to finish, including a highlighter, which I'm pretty stoked about. And then I also have a surprise empty. And then my 21 in 21 count has also gone up significantly, so I'm pretty happy about all of that. So let's just get on into it. So my first item is my Live Clean Argan Oil treatment. So this is like a treatment, but it also has a little bit of hold to it. So I used it as a styling cream too. So I have actually made pretty good, like more progress on this than I thought I would, which I say every month, and I'm growing out my hair. It's also been a little bit forced because of COVID. I haven't been able to get a haircut and I'm overdue. Let's not talk about it. So every time I update, I have a little more hair than I had last time. So the rate at which I'm using this up is increasing every single month. So I am actually at a point where I think this could be gone in about 2 months, which would be awesome. So at the beginning of last month, I was up to here, and then now I'm down to my nail polish. So yeah, if you look at the rest of that, like I'm thinking 2 more months, maybe 6 weeks. So I'm just gonna keep on plugging away at this. Okay, so first empty. I didn't think I was going to finish this year, but I actually managed to, and that's because I switched how I was using this. So I brought my North American Hemp Company oil in I want to say April. I think this has been in for 2 months. And so when I brought it in, it was about here, and then it was down to about here as of last month, and now this is an empty. I switched to using this as a body oil because it just wasn't working out for me as a hair oil. So every time I put this on, it was very easy for me to go overboard and end up with greasy hair. So I was like, you know what, we're just going to use this as a body oil and then get it finished. And so I had 2 more uses on this after the last update, and it was empty. So I'm going to be rolling in another sort of neglected personal care product, which is my Burt's Bees Lemon Butter Cuticle Cream. So I rediscovered this a couple weeks ago and was like, oh yeah, I still have that. I should finish it before I open my next bottle of solar oil. So I have hit pretty major pan on this. I don't know how long it'll take me to finish this, but I do want to get this done sometime over the next couple months. So I think my goal is going to be to switch to using this nightly and maybe more than once a day if I remember. And so by the next update, I just want to hit side pan over here. I don't know how well you can see, but I do want to hit side pan and just like clean out this side as much as humanly possible. And then hopefully I'll have a better sense of how long it's going to take with frequent usage before this might be empty. So talking about makeup, the first item I have is my Maybelline Fit Me Matte Foundation, and I brought this in last month. It was about half full, and I've actually managed to use this way more than I thought I would. I've used this 12 times, and so it's now gone from halfway finished all the way down to here. So I'm thinking probably 2 more months left on this one. So what I'm going to do is the same thing as last month, commit to using this when I'm filming and maybe a couple times in between. And then, yeah, hopefully 2 more months or so and this will be gone. As long as I finish up like roughly half of what's left in here by next month, that would make me pretty happy. Okay, next up, let's talk about my NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in the shade Milk. So this was mostly new when I brought it in last month, and I've sharpened this once, so it's still looking pretty new. I talked about this in a couple of other videos, so I'm going to keep this brief, but I have been dealing with a really pesky patch of eczema on my eyelid, and it is clearing up, but it's taking a while. So especially the first 2 weeks after I filmed my last update, I really wasn't wearing any type of eye makeup because I got my prescription and was using it, and the area is still a little sensitive, so I haven't resumed like daily or mostly daily eyeshadow the way I was before. So I haven't used this a ton, not as much as I'd hoped, but I did use it enough to get, I would say I didn't track use on this, and I am going to start, but I would say I used this maybe like 7 or 8 times. So I have used this enough to know that if I don't set it, it becomes a pretty creasy, faded mess pretty quickly. And if I do set it, I can get like 6 hours out of it, but there is definitely still some fading. So I am not in love with this, and I think I realized that for somebody who has hooded, oilier lids, I am definitely much better off using a primer. My results are better, the longevity is better, and I don't get creasing. I don't think I'm going to force myself to finish this, but I think what I am going to do is commit to using this as sort of my daily base, unless I have a really long day or it's like super hot. I'm going to use this as much as I can for the rest of the summer. I'm going to try to remember to use this in the waterline, which I'm doing today, and I put it on like 5 hours ago and I don't think you can tell, like it's pretty much gone. So the goal for this is to keep on using it throughout the summer, and then in September I will reassess and see if I want to keep it or if I want to get rid of it. Realizing that I needed to set it took me a little bit longer than I'd care to admit, so that was definitely an improvement. But yeah, I'm gonna see if I can really figure this one out, and at least I'll have given it a fair shot. If I do decide to get rid of it in September, at least I'll know I tried. Okay, so next up, this is definitely showing slow progress, which is kind of frustrating because I've had my ColourPop Super Shock blush in between the sheets in this project since the beginning, and I've just been trying to finish it. I have some other cream blushes that I would like to try, but knowing that the shelf life on those is shorter, I do want to finish one before I bring anything else in. So I'm not letting myself pick up anything else until I finish this up. Between my eye and just being very busy with school this month, makeup has sort of been on the back burner, so I haven't used this as much as I would have liked to. I would say like 5 to 7 times maybe. There hasn't been a ton of pan expansion with this one, I don't think you can tell, because I've mainly been focusing on flattening it down. But I feel like it is starting to thin out a little bit. So this is, I think, just slowly but surely. I really want to make this my focus blush for the summer and just try to remember to use it more, and then hopefully I'll be able to have this done by the end of the year. I think it's definitely possible, but I do need to step up the usage on this because I'm not wild about the formula. I do like the color, but I would like to finish this up sooner rather than later and hopefully try some other cream blushes that I might like a little bit more and might add something a little bit different to my collection. So yeah, I'm just going to keep on working on this. I think I'm going to give myself a goal to use this 10 times over the next month, and then we will kind of reassess from there. Okay, next up I have my really exciting update, and I finished my Mary Luminizer. And I was really close as of last month. Like I think we knew it was definitely going to be gone within a few weeks. I didn't expect this to finish up as fast as it did. I said, I think in my last update, I thought like 2 to 3 weeks of use and it was going to be gone, and I used this 5 times and it was finished. So I am really happy about this. I've definitely enjoyed using this, but this was my oldest highlighter, so I'm happy to have it finished. I didn't realize I had magpie tendencies until I discovered highlighter, but apparently I do. And so highlighter is definitely a category that I have a few too many of, and I am trying to pare back. I think now that I'm done with my oldest highlighter, I think it's appropriate to bring in my next oldest highlighter, which is my Wet n Wild Mega Glow in Halo Goodbye. And I've had this for, I would say, about 1.5 years now. And while I haven't noticed any breakouts or irritation while using this, I have noticed that it started to dry down a lot faster and not blend out as easily, so I can tell that it's getting towards the end of its lifespan. It's not there yet, but I do want to focus on finishing up as much of this as I can before it gets to a point where it's not usable. So I decided to focus on this as my regular highlighter after I finished up my Mary Luminizer, and in about 3 weeks this has gone from being 3/4 to 2/3 full all the way down to about half full. So I'm thinking if I continue using this at the same rate, this could be finished in 2 to 3 months. What I've been doing is I started off by mixing this with my foundation in this project, which is currently the only foundation that I own. And so I found mixing the two of them together made them both get really liquidy, which was weird because they're both fairly thick on their own, but when they're mixed they get pretty runny, and I don't know what in the chemistry was happening there, but clearly something was happening. I found that the finish when I did that wasn't fantastic. It could kind of look a little bit cakey, but then I tried layering this underneath my foundation, and that is the ticket. That has worked really well. So before I put on foundation, I'll put some of this along like my cheeks and forehead and then blend it in and then put my foundation on top. And so that gives a really nice glowy effect. So it's definitely made a matte foundation significantly less matte, and considering I just went on a rant about how much I love highlighter, I'm definitely more drawn to a glowier finish. So that has been allowing me to use more of this at a time while also tweaking the finish of my foundations so that I like how it looks better and I feel more comfortable in it. So that's definitely been a win-win situation, and I'm glad I started doing that. So I think what I want to do for the next month is that every single time I use foundation, I want to use this underneath, and then if it works with the eye look, I'll also use it on top. And then hopefully that'll give me a better sense of how fast I can expect this to go with frequent use. So my first lip product is from Sephora Collection, and it's one of their lip stains. It's one of their cream lip stains in Blackberry Sorbet, and I love this color. Maybe not the most seasonally appropriate, but I have used this twice since the last update, which is better than the month before when I didn't use this at all, but I would like to use this at least 3 times I do want to use this at least 3 times over the next month, and even though this is not finished yet, I can definitely tell it's getting closer. I'm noticing that less product is coming out on the wand, and I'm going to sort of stick to the same rules that I used for this when I finished one of these earlier in the year, especially because this is a dark color. Once it gets really hard to get out, it's going to get skippy, and this is a fairly unforgiving color for that to happen with. So I think what I'm going to do is, once it gets to a point where I can't get an even coverage and so little is coming out that the doe foot is starting to skip on my lip line, I am going to call this an empty. I do think I'm a couple months off, but I would like to pick up the usage on this just to sort of maybe have this finished by September. Even though I do love the color on this, I do know that this is getting old and I would like to have it out. Especially, I would like to have this finished up by September, especially since I do have a similar colored liquid lipstick that I kind of have been neglecting so that I can finish this. So yeah, I'm thinking like 2 to 3 more months and this one could be gone too. So I think August and September are going to be pretty good updates. So here's one that I actually thought I was going to have finished, and I'm very, very close but no cigar, and so that is my Marc Jacobs creme lipstick in the shade Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. So this was a mini and it's very close to being done. This is definitely starting to get to a point where it's making me work to get it on. I'm wearing it today, and I've worn it 10 times this month for 12 times total in this project, so this should be gone, I would say, in a matter of weeks at the rate that I'm going. I shouldn't have any issues finishing this up by the next update. I like this. I'm not like wild about this really bright pink color on me, but I think it does work for certain things. But regardless, I've had this for a while and it is time for me to finish this up. So yeah, this should be gone by next update. Okay, so second last, I have my surprise empty. And I honestly did not expect to have this Essence lip gloss finished, like at all. I said when I brought it in last month that I thought it was maybe 2/3 to half full, and then I stuck it in hot water and was really surprised to find out that there was only like a little bit around the sides and in the bottom where the wand can't reach. So this is actually, I'm going to call this one empty. And the reason for that is that I managed to scrape off pretty much as I can around the sides of the tube. Like it's pretty windowed, and this is also a pretty thick and viscous formula, so I know that I could technically pull the stopper out, but I feel like this is going to get very gloopy and very messy if I try to do that, and realistically for a $4 lip gloss I'm not attached enough to try to do that, so I'm going to call this one an empty. I knew I wasn't going to use this much once I went back to school, so I'm definitely very happy to have that finished a little bit ahead of schedule. Alright, so now that I have another finished item, that means that I get to bring something else in. So I am going to be bringing in my neglected e.l.f. cream gel liner, and this is just their basic black one. I don't know if they have other colors, but this is what I picked up. So I do want to remember to use this a little bit more because I almost never wear it. Like, I couldn't tell you the last time I put this on, so I would like to use this a little bit more. I've used more of this than I thought I had. I would say that I'm about like 3/4 of the way down to the bottom there, so I would like to hit pan on this at some point, and just like try to remember to keep on using this until I can get a replacement. And last but definitely least, I did finally manage to pick up my e.l.f. Earth and Ocean palette. So I've been working on the shade Abyss in here for months, and I have used this a grand total of 5 times in like 4 months. So I've decided I do want to give this 1 more month in here, but I have come to the conclusion that between doing a palette of the month, pan that palette, and pan those eyeshadows, I am sort of stretched too thin if I try to also pan some shadows in this project too. So I am going to keep this in for 1 more month. I would like to use this like 3 to 5 more times, and then next month I will for sure be pulling this out and replacing it with something different. Now that I'm done my recap of all my items, let's talk a little bit about my 21 and 21 count, because that has changed pretty decently this month. So the way I've done that is earlier in the year I went through my inventory and just made a list of a bunch of items that I didn't want to have at the end of the year, and so every time I finish one I add it to my list. So as of last month I was at 13 finished items. I'm now up at 18. So 2 of those were part of this project. My Mary Luminizer and North American Hemp Company oil were on that list, but my Essence lip gloss wasn't, so I didn't count it. And then I also managed to finish up a hair care item, a skincare item, and a nail polish, which means that I'll have a project polish update sometime over the next couple weeks. So actually technically I didn't finish that skincare item. I finished most of it and then it just hasn't really been agreeing with my skin, so I did decide to give it to my mom. But it's no longer in my collection, so I'm counting as an empty. So I've gone up from 71% of my target up to 86%. So considering I've been finishing about 3 items a month, I think that I am on track to be there by next month if all goes well. So I mean, I'm not pushing myself too hard to finish a set number of items. I'm just trying to finish up a bunch of older things and just really curate my collection down so that I'm using and loving everything that I have, and so every finished item gets me a little bit closer to that goal. Alright, so I think that is going to wrap it up for this one. Thank you so much for watching. If you're doing this project, please do let me know how yours is going. If you're doing this on YouTube, let me know. I would love to follow along with yours. If you like my content and you haven't already subscribed, I upload new videos every Tuesday and sometimes on Saturdays, and hopefully I will catch you in the next one. Bye!